When it comes to Chelsea's season this year, there are two ways of looking at their current form. Either the reigning champions have lost their touch, or Pep Guardiola's Man City are just that good that everyone else looks ordinary around them. To be honest, the latter is probably true, with Guardiola's men opening up a lead at the top of the table that has never been seen before at this stage of the season. But let's focus on the boys at Stamford Bridge and how a few January signings might help them pull off the impossible. First up, we have a young Frenchman who could be the next person to leave Monaco in what is surely one of the biggest football exoduses, if that's even a word, in recent history. I'm not just talking about the quantity of players, but also the quality, with the likes of Mendy, Bakayoko, Mbappe and Bernardo Silva just a few of the guys who have left Monaco with an extra £330 million in the back pocket of the French league team. And because it's Monaco, be sure that every single penny of it will be kept tax-free. So what next? Well, if the summer transfer reports are to be believed, Arsenal bid about £90 million for Thomas Lemar. And should this interest be reignited in January, Chelsea are now looking to also steal the player, so the two London clubs could be battling it out. The reason being that Hazard is yet to sign a new deal at Chelsea, and with his agent touting that Real Madrid and Barcelona could be interested, he looks unlikely to stay at Stamford Bridge much longer. Alongside him, Willian is also in and out of form as well as in and out of the team, and with Pedro entering his early 30s, it looks like Lemar is the perfect replacement for those guys at Stamford Bridge. He's likely to be a prime target for Chelsea, but whether they actually get him is a completely different matter. Next up is a Chelsea target who, in the summer, his move to Stamford Bridge looked a dead certainty as Arjen Robben cutting in on his left foot. Despite a host of bids in the summer around the £60 million mark, and with constant speculation since then, it looks as though Antonio Conte may have actually called off the deal for the Juve left-back Alex Sandro. However, this doesn't seem to be the case from the man himself, as Sandro has been quoted as saying his preferred destination is Chelsea over teams like Man United. So who has the final say? Well, I'm not even sure. Nowadays it could be anyone. Players, managers, coaches, directors, parents, agents, or even third-party sponsorship guys. My question is, if he's failed to overtake Kwadwo Asamoah in the left-back spot at Juve, how is he likely to budge Marcos Alonso out of the left-back spot at Chelsea, with the Spaniard in some fine form recently? Well, to be honest, this is football, and football fans are extremely demanding, so a big name, big money signing in January could be exactly what they wanted. With the next player, I'm starting to see a pattern on this list. Chelsea are not only in negotiations to sign top players, but they also look to steal other players from under the nose of their rivals, as well as their rivals' key players. They plan to take Thomas Lemar away from Arsenal. They managed to prize Conte and Drinkwater away from Leicester, and don't even get me started on their transfer struggles with Spurs. Before moving to Chelsea, Willian was actually on his way to White Hart Lane, but a last-minute swoop saw him pull on the blue of Chelsea, and let me tell you, Spurs fans still haven't forgotten it. So are we likely to see the same thing again? Quite possibly. Despite not being a regular or being in the greatest form, Ross Barkley is the modern-day enigma. He's a Gaza-esque attacking midfielder blessed with natural talent alongside the English Bulldog spirit on one day, and on another, he's just your typical angry Sunday League footballer, but still with the same spirit. So why do teams still want him? Well, having a young Englishman is good for the team's English quota, and as mentioned before, should he realise his potential, he could be a top player. I could see a move to Chelsea actually materialising for Barkley, but given their previous record of giving young English players a chance, I'd like to see him end up at Spurs. Possibly the most lesser-known player on this list sees a youngster from Jamaica who's currently plying his trade in the Bundesliga in Germany with Bayer Leverkusen. Having been touted around many European teams by his father, Leon Bailey eventually ended up at Genk in Belgium before moving to Leverkusen 18 months ago for 20 million. And at just 20 years old, his stellar performances have attracted the attention of many of Europe's biggest clubs, which has then of course in turn attracted Chelsea, who are probably just in it for the banter or the mind games. According to reports, Chelsea have had a bid of about £22 million turned down, with Leverkusen hoping to receive somewhere in the region of £50 million for him. 50 million. £50 million for a player who has played just over 70 games in his 3 seasons as a professional footballer. That's enough money to ruin anyone's potential and even their mind. Again, much like the previous youngsters on this list, I really hope he stays and actually goes somewhere where he's going to play a big part in the team. Last on the list is a Dortmund forward, who at 28 years old and in an underperforming team should really use this opportunity to jump ship and move to a big club for the first and definitely last time in his career. With reports he even told his teammates of an imminent move to Real Madrid last summer, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang really is the modern day Peter Odemwingie. Having said that to his team, he then had to turn around with his tail between his legs and get on with life in Germany, which, as we have seen with Dortmund flopping in the Champions League and now sitting outside the European places, isn't going so swimmingly. His incredible pace would be an asset to any team, and should the likes of Barca, Madrid and PSG not come calling in January, Chelsea would definitely be potential suitors. Alvaro Morata has done well since his arrival, but should his rather one-dimensional style of play not work out, backup Michy Batshuayi is proving himself to be a less than capable replacement, so Aubameyang stepping in could be a masterstroke from Conte. The forward is known for his extravagant cars, clothes and behaviour, and he'd fit in well in West London amongst the finest shops and bars along the King's Road, and although he's selling his Lamborghini Aventador, a wage for a bench player at Chelsea is more than enough to buy plenty more Lambos in the years to come. So there we have 5 potential signings for Chelsea this transfer window. Do you think any of them are realistically going to end up at Stamford Bridge? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. The reason being that Eden Hazard is yet to sign a new Chelsea deal, probably with the Opes.